everybody, it's SaskiaSketches and this is part 2 to the sewing video. So, last video, I kind of left you guys on a cliffhanger, but then again, you know, I think it's fair of me because I did so much work for this one video that, you know, I could just split it into two, and also I need content because I am super busy with school, and that's enough excuses. Let's get into my project. Yeah, so the last one failed because there was too much going on that was just getting in my way. Like my sewing machine wasn't working for the first bit, and the fabric was being very annoying, and I had trouble with the pattern a little bit as well. So I decided that I would start over and try something new, because I just really wanted to make a sewing video, because I don't know why, I just really wanted to show this kind of art on my channel as well, because I know I really like doing sewing projects, and you know, I want to show that on my channel because it's a part of me, and my channel is kind of like a collection of all my artwork and everything. I just really enjoy it. I thought it'd be fun. So what I decided to do is make a new stuffed animal, and I wasn't going to make a deer this time. I wanted to try making a rabbit because I had a small rabbit plush lying around, and I thought, hey, you know, this one looks a lot easier than what I was trying to accomplish. So I decided to see, you know, if I could follow that pattern a little bit more closely and try and make something that looks a little bit better. And spoiler alert, that did end up looking a lot better than the deer that I was trying. So there were a couple things that I did to avoid the disasters that I had the last time. The first was to make sure that I you know, was cutting all my pieces a lot bigger than I was thinking at first, because I just wanted to make sure that I had enough seam allowance and everything. And then the second thing that I did was I used only this grey fabric and a little bit of the pink fabric, because the white one, like I mentioned last time, just was not working, so I decided to avoid it altogether. And yeah, that's basically it. I also, you know, decided to make sure that I knew exactly how I was setting up my sewing machine and that I was threading it properly, just to make sure that I wouldn't have any issues with that, like I did with the last one, though it was just a little bit. I don't even know if I mentioned it in the video. And then, you know, it actually worked. So what I was doing to finish up basically was doing you know, stuff that I wasn't able to do with the other one because it just was not working. So I stuffed the stuffed animal. I always use some polyfill. I think I reused some of the stuff that I already had lying around, because sometimes I open up my own stuffed animals and replace the stuffing, or restuff them, because, you know, sometimes when you've got old stuffed animals, they kind of lose their appeal because the stuffing gets really I don't know, clumpy, and sometimes, you know, just restuffing it really helps bring it back to life. So that's one thing that I do sometimes, and that's what I use the stuffing for this plushie for. You can also stuff plushies with just scraps of fabric, because when you're sewing, you always have usually you have a lot of scraps lying around, which can be used for stuffing stuffed animals, and, you know, you can make sure that you're not wasting anything. I do find that does not make for the greatest results though, so that's not what I tend to use. So after I'd stuffed it, I stood it back up. So when I mentioned this in the last video, is when you're sewing a stuffed animal, you sew them inside out. So you need to leave a gap through which you can, you know, turn the stuffed animal around and then stuff it, and then you can sew that little gap back shut. And you usually don't do that with a sewing machine, so just do it by hand. I always use I used to use a different stitch, but now I discovered a different stitch. I used a ladder stitch for this one, which is a really interesting stitch, but it sort of hides your stitches. So I really love using that one, especially for those final things, because it just makes for a more clean look. It's also quite a strong stitch. And then, you know, the last little bit is always my favorite. It's the embroidery details, and I love doing little embroidery details, because I always feel like that makes the plush just, you know, come to life a little bit. I just really love the way that this one came out. I wanted to make just a cute little face that, you know, because I felt like the plush's personality was kind of, you know, mellow, laid back maybe. So I just wanted to capture that in the expression that I gave the plush. And I think that it turned out well. I really like it. So I actually proved to myself and to you guys right now that I can actually sew and can actually make stuffed animals. But I really liked sharing this little journey with you guys. So I really hope that you've enjoyed it as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more art videos every single Friday. Have a great weekend, guys, and keep on sketching. Bye!